Hello, everybody. Today we will be talking about the current exchange rate arrangements, the euro, and the European Monetary Union. My name is Chris Tonchev. Today's date is November 16th, 2022, and this is International Finance with Professor Minta. First off, let's go over the topics that we will be talking about during today's lecture. First, we will be going over all of the current exchange rate arrangements. Secondly, we will have an overview of the European monetary system. Third, we will be talking about the euro. This will include both its history and some of the current exchange rates. And lastly, we will be quickly highlighting over some of the costs and the benefits of the implementation of the euro. And for our first topic, we'll be highlighting the current exchange rate arrangements, their meaning, and examples of countries that utilize them. There is actually a total of 10 current exchange rate arrangements, and I will begin going over them. First off, we have the no separate legal tender arrangement. This arrangement means completely surrendering control over your domestic monetary policies and uptaking another country's currency as a sole legal currency. Some examples of countries include Ecuador with the US dollar and Montenegro with the euro. Secondly, we have the currency board arrangement. This is an arrangement that implies a strict backing of domestic currency through foreign currency with a fixed exchange rate. Some country examples include Hong Kong with the US dollar and Bulgaria with the euro. Third, we have the conventional peg arrangement. This occurs when a country pegs its currency at a fixed rate with another currency or a basket of currencies. This allows the authorities to maintain a fixed rate through either direct or indirect intervention. Two examples again are Aruba with the US dollar and Cameroon with the euro. Alright, moving on to part 2 of the current exchange rate arrangements, we will begin with the stabilized arrangement. The stabilized arrangement requires a spot market exchange rate that will remain within a margin of 2% for at least 6 months. This can either be a single or a basket of currencies, and two country examples include Lebanon with the US dollar and Croatia with the euro. Moving on, we have the crawling peg, which is an arrangement that involves a fixed exchange rate, which is allowed to fluctuate within a band of rates and allows country authorities de jure exchange rate arrangement. Both Honduras and Nicaragua are examples of countries with a crawling peg arrangement. Sixth on the list, we have the crawl-like arrangement, an arrangement similar to a stabilized arrangement where the exchange rate must remain within a 2% relative to a statistically identified trend for 6 months or more. But compared to the stabilized arrangement, involves a lesser rate of change allowed. Iran and Serbia both utilize this arrangement. And lastly, on the current exchange rate arrangements, we have 4 left to cover, starting with the pegged exchange rate within horizontal bands, an arrangement where the value of currency is maintained within a margin of fluctuation of at least 1% around a fixed central rate, and Tonga is actually the only country to utilize this arrangement. Next, we have a residual category, which is the other managed arrangement, where an exchange rate arrangement does not actually meet the criteria for other categories. This includes countries like Algeria and Cambodia. Second to last, we have the floating arrangement, where the exchange rate is without a predictable path and does not include policies that target a specific level of exchange rate. Brazil and India are a pair of countries which utilize a floating arrangement. And our last exchange rate arrangement is a free-floating arrangement. Within this arrangement, intervention seldom occurs and is only used to address market conditions that are disorderly, but these market conditions are limited to 3 three-day instances within 6 months. Our second topic today will be the European monetary system, specifically its history, objectives behind its creation, and the methods utilized within this system. Going over the European monetary system, I will begin by briefly talking about its history, the objectives the European monetary system was created for. This system was launched in March of 1979 after being proposed by German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt, and it replaced the old Bretton Woods system, which was referred to as the snake arrangement. The main objectives behind the European monetary system's creation were 3 objectives. First, to establish a zone of monetary stability. Second, to coordinate exchange rate policies with the currencies outside of the European monetary system. And lastly, It hoped to pave the way towards an eventual Europe that featured monetary union. The EMS was actually replaced by the European Monetary Union in 1999, which is currently being utilized by 19 countries, some of which are France, Germany, and Italy. And Croatia will be its 20th member as of 2023. The first instrument within the European monetary system is the European Currency Unit, aka the ECU. This instrument is a basket currency created through a weighted average of the currencies of the countries within the European Union. This weight is based on relative GNP and share in intra-EU trade. The second instrument is the exchange rate mechanism, aka the ERM. This instrument is a procedure used by the European monetary system's countries to manage their exchange rates. The ERM is based on a parity grid system, which a system of par values computed by defining the par values of the EMS currencies in terms of the European currency unit. Today's third topic will be the euro, specifically its history and function, as well as an overview of some euro exchange rates. I will be going over the history of the euro using a timeline to visualize as well as portray the significant moments of the euro's creation and adaptation. Beginning in 1991, when the Maastricht European Council reached agreement for the Treaty on the European Union. This called for the introduction of a single European currency by 1999. Prior to the launch of the euro in 1998, the European Central Bank was established. By the Treaty of Amsterdam, headquartered in Frankfurt, Germany, the independent bank maintains the euro's supply and price stability. Then, in 1999, specifically January 1st, the euro was launched. And alongside the launch of the euro, the European Monetary Union, EMU for short, was also created as an extension of the European monetary system. Then, on January 1st, 2002, euro notes and coins were introduced to circulation, while national currencies began their withdrawal. The national currencies were irrevocably fixed to the euro at the January 1st, 1999 conversion rate, which I will show later in this lecture. And fun fact is, as of 2021, there is currently approximately 1.54 trillion euros in circulation, featuring an increase of over 110 million compared to 2020. Next up, regarding the euro, I'll briefly go over the exchange rates that were used on January 1st, 1999 in the creation of the euro. Obviously, for time's sake, I will not go over all of them, but I'll take a second for you all to read the list and get a glance of the exchange rates. For example, 1 euro is equal to 13.7603 Austrian shillings. Also, I have included two graphs comparing the euro to the US dollar. The first graph shows the daily dollar to euro exchange rate since the euro was introduced. As you can see, the euro steadily depreciated against the dollar until 2003, where it surpassed the dollar, but since reaching its peak in 2008, the euro has continuously depreciated. The second graph simply shows how volatile the dollar to euro exchange rate has been in the years since its introduction. Again, I will pause for a brief second to allow you all to view the graphs. Moving on to our fourth and final topic for today's lecture, I will be going over the euro again, this time specifically highlighting the costs versus the benefits. And to begin our last topic of the day, we have the costs and the benefits of the euro. Starting off with the costs. The first cost is that the main issue that countries that are a part of the European Monetary Union lose their ability to adapt their monetary policies. This means when countries face asymmetric problems, meaning that these problems only affect their own economy, the European Central Bank is not likely to adapt the policies of the euro in order to simply assist one country facing a problem within their economy. Because of this, countries prone to these asymmetric problems lose their way of adapting their currency. Now, on the other hand, some of the benefits of the euro are the reduction of transaction costs and the elimination of exchange rate uncertainty. This allows for the travel throughout Europe without the potential of losing money due to transaction costs. Also, the common currency allows for the integration of European financial markets to pave the way for a more efficient European capital market, where everyone can raise money at a more favorable rate. Last but not least, a united monetary value under the euro will promote political cooperation and peace in Europe, which will replace nationalistic rivalries which often led to war and conflict in the past. To conclude, the main takeaways that we learned in today's lecture are the 10 different current exchange rate arrangements and how and which countries are utilizing these differing methods within their economy. A quick history of the European monetary system, such as the day it was introduced, the objectives of this system, which are monetary stability, to coordinate exchange rate policies, and to pave the way for eventual monetary European Union, and the two main instruments, the European currency unit and the exchange rate mechanism, that the European monetary system utilized to complete those objectives. After the European monetary system, we glanced over the euro 2 times. First, to talk about how the euro came to be and its specific timeline from when it was proposed in 1991 to its introduction into circulation in 2002. And lastly, we looked over the costs and benefits of the implementation of the euro, such as a loss of monetary independence compared to the benefit of promoting peace and cooperation between countries utilizing the euro. Overall, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and I will see you next time.